What's up, guys? Today we're going to talk about how to correctly include citations within the text of an academic paper. So what I mean by this is that when you're writing for college, you're often either directly quoting or using paraphrased material you found from other sources. This is where that citation comes into play because you want to credit the original author, and this is how you effectively avoid plagiarism. Before we jump into the examples, there are two rules of thumb to follow. First, if you're including a direct quote, always include the citation within the directly quoted material. Next, if you're paraphrasing, which should account for most of your material, you're always going to include the citation after the first mention of the paraphrased material. So even if you're using the same source multiple times throughout your paper, you're going to apply this rule in that you want to include a citation the first time you mention and re-mention that same source. Now, let's look at a few examples. In our first example, let's say the entire paragraph contains material paraphrased from one source. Using our rule of thumb, that means we're going to place our citation within the first sentence of the paragraph, like you see it is here. Next, let's say that only a section of the paragraph uses paraphrased material. Then again, we're going to place our citation in the sentence that first uses that paraphrased information. In this case, you can see it's at the bottom half of the paragraph. Now, following with the paragraph containing material from one source, let's say that part of it is paraphrased and there is a direct quote. In this case, you're going to combine the two rules of thumb in that you're going to include the citation for the paraphrased material, like you see it is here at the beginning, and then you're always going to include a citation for a direct quote where the direct quote is located. In the next scenario, let's say that our paragraph uses paraphrased material from two different sources. We're still going to follow the rule of thumb. In this case, we're simply using two different citations within that paragraph. As you can see, the first half of the paragraph is paraphrased material from the first source, and the second half uses paraphrased material from the second source. In the next example, let's say you're including paraphrased material from one source, however, this time it spans multiple paragraphs. In this case, you want to include a fresh citation within the first sentence of each new paragraph to signify to the reader that the paraphrased material is continuing on. And finally, let's say that the paraphrased material from that source is not consecutive. You use it in multiple locations within the paper. You're simply going to include that citation again within the first mention of the beginning of the paraphrased section. At this point, you should be seeing a pattern here. Also, if you want help with actually paraphrasing your paper, be sure to check out one of these videos next.